Chicago Bears made two big cap casualty cuts this past Friday in Gerald Everett and DeMarcus Walker, saving $10.75 million and pushing them to fourth in the most salary cap in the 25 off-season. But that does not mean that the Bears are done, as there are more guys on this roster that are likely to get cut and could put the Bears at over $100 million in cap. I'm here to break it all down for you guys. But hello everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year. Chicago Bears, my name is R.O., and as always, thank you for tuning in now before we begin. Today's show, hit that like button. If you want the Bears to get more cap this upcoming offseason, along with commenting who you wanted the Bears to release from the guys that I go through today. But let's start off quickly for those who may have missed it, that the Bears released two veterans this past Friday. February 21st in Gerald Everett and DeMarcus Walker, saving $10.75 million in 2025. With only a $1.67 million cap dead cap hit. Starting off with DeMarcus Walker, some people were pretty upset about this. But if you look at what he's kind of done, it's been a little underwhelming during his time in Chicago. And the 30-year-old, 64-28, OB Edge was drafted in the second round. In 2017, has never made a Pro Bowl, had a 64.7 PFF grade, which as a rotation guide, not terrible. But at the end of the day, 43 total tackles along with 4 sacks and 12 quarterback hits. Not terrible, but his first year was very underwhelming with the Bears, with only 3.5 sacks, and he was injured quite a bit of the time. He also played through injuries again this past year, so it's just a part of the game where if the Bears can save money, because they saved $5.25 million by cutting him with this contract, I wish him the absolute best, but it was bound to happen. And then on top of it, another one that was bound to happen was veteran tight end Gerald Everett, who the Bears brought in this past year to work with not only Cale Williams, but also Shane Walren, which he has worked with the Seattle Seahawks and the LA Rams. And this just didn't work out. 8 receptions for only 36 yards, and we paid this guy a ton of money. Bears cut him and saved $5.5 million. And the 30-year-old is going to be looking for a new home, but wishing the absolute best because he is a good ball player. But it just wasn't working out in Chicago, and Ben Johnson also doesn't really run a dual tight end set. He's more of just a strictly one tight end kind of guy. I mean, look what he did in Detroit. So at the end of the day, wishing these two guys the absolute best, but it was bound to happen. Bears save money, and they can use that on either key free agents or to rein current guys that have their contracts up now. Before we get into the cap casualties for today, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We are 130 away from 27,000, and we can do it today. Let's make this a Sunday. Fun day, and please hit that subscribe button to Saint to Date and all Chicago Bears news and notifications. But let's go into more cap casualties that could be coming for the Chicago Bears, as they have a pretty long list of guys that can help save a ton of money. The Bears currently sit at just under $80 million at the moment, and they can get well over $90 million with the certain cap hits that I would do. But they can even push over 100 if they do every single one of them. Let's go through that list real quick. But like I was saying, the Bears currently sit at 4 with $79.83 million in cap availability, according to Over the Cap, which makes them 4th behind the Patriots, Raiders, and Commanders, and ahead of the Cardinals and Chargers. Now, this is also based off of $279.5 million, which is in the middle of where the NFL is going to end up putting the salary cap. So giver. Take $2 million off of that number right there, but the Bears still are sitting at a very nice position. But let's go through the Bears' top cap casualties from this list. So as you can see on the list, in green, is guys we already got rid of, and that was DeMarcus Walker and Gerald Everett. The guys in gold were starters this past year for the Chicago Bears. So starting with Kevin Byard, we'd save $7 million. He enters the last year of his contract. So interesting situation with him. It could go either way. But the leading tackler for the Bears last year, I don't think you get rid of this guy. TJ Edwards, Chicagoland native, back-to-back Hunter tackle seasons. For the Bears, still on that incredible $19 million contract. If the Bears end up cutting him, they save $5.5 million. Again, I don't see this happening, but we'll go through that in a little bit. Interior offensive lineman, Ryan Bates. This is going to happen relatively soon, folks. $4 million saves, 0 dead cap. That's just a win-win right there. Braxton Jones is an interesting one. Suffered that fractured fibula this past year in week 15 against the Detroit Lions.